off by introducing myself, if you guys are good to go. My name is Callahan Williams, and I am with a company called Center 6. We are based out of North Salt Lake, Utah. And we build mobile applications, as well as a variety of other mobile technologies. I think everybody in here is registered, but I'll run by. Thank you very much. I'll run by one more time. In case you have a second cell phone and want to register another phone, or you want to log in your Google Voice number and use that as well.
Google Voice number.
I've got the number right here if you want the registration. At any rate, I've been around in the software industry for about 7 years. Sold a business 7 years ago, and my wife was done with me being around, so she said find something to do. And I loved. I grew up kind of as a geeky math guy. Got into automation, automating a variety of different sequences, including trading in the stock market, all that kind of stuff. Automated trading, where computer automated kind of stuff. Kind of buzz with the supercomputers and all that garbage that's going on. And from the company that started there, I had a few programmers that were interested in branching off and getting into some of this development stuff. And I was very skeptical at the beginning. I went to buying the first iPhone, one of the first iPhones. I was that proud. Thought it'd be cool to try out. And when they opened up that SDK, then things kind of got interesting in my office. They ventured out, built an app, built 3 apps, we got to 10, and all of a sudden we figured out that we had to actually start to kind of push it off into the division of the company to see that they could do that. And that's what we've been doing ever since, is working in the mobile application. That division of the company works. Mobile applications does so in all varieties of BlackBerry, Windows, Android, and iOS. So if any of you have had a chance to hear, I was just actually in the presentation here by the gentleman that is with what's the name of this company? Yeah, mobile versus web. Yeah, I was just saying. We're native. We're of the native variety. We build native. So that's a little bit about me. In doing any kind of presentation, I always like to, if I can, especially in a group like this, I'd like to know a little bit about you, kind of what you guys do. Can you tell me a little bit about what your background is, or what your fancy is for work while you're here? Let's start right here.
Sure. My name is Bryce, and I work for Southern Utah University out of City City. And I work in the IT department. We mainly do system support, and I do recording also.
Mike Russell, I'm the commander of the 367th Training Support Squadron down at Field Air Force Base. And we develop training for all aircraft maintenance, munitions, and missile people of the Air Force. And so we ventured into gaming, and then we had a FedEx Day in February where we did 24 hours of work we kind of wanted to do. Some of our guys went off into mobile applications. 2 mobile applications came out of that day. And so what we found out as soon as the word got out, it took about 3 weeks to try to get the phone calls. Hey, you guys make mobile apps? No, not yet. Not to play around with it. So
cool, very cool.
My name is Jeremy Asaya. I'm originally from France, due to my religion, through my accent.
it's Canadian to me. I don't know.
I'm from Lyon, south of Paris. Anyway, I'm here. I'm a mobile developer, develop mobile application for Ogden, or I'm a consultant for SDG Utah. So it's a company downtown Salt Lake City. And I do iOS and Android natively. And I love that.
My name is Callahan. I'm an MBA student weaver. Actually, just got done working for about 2.5 years as a business consultant, and what do I really teaching qualifications?
Fantastic. We need more of you.
My name is Spencer Smith. I actually work at Marcus Star, just across the street here. They're one of the sponsors, I guess. We have just a bunch of different marketing applications that we do, with sales and that kind of thing. I work for the IT department. We're just looking at turning some of our apps into mobile apps.
I'm Patrick Castle. I work in the Apple industry, all Apple-related subjects. I'm also a developer of apps. I'm not just working on mobile apps. I'm studying it all.
Fantastic. Great.
J.R. Westmoreland. I know it says James on my badge, but that's because the web application doesn't allow me to type it in my way, so it has problems. I've been a software engineer for about 28 years, and then I went back to school and started doing mobile development, and that's kind of where I am now, working on mobile apps and back doing some consulting.
Fantastic. Great. Well, thank you all for being here. I'm excited to get going with this discussion. As some of you might have seen, I'll start off with this because the last time I think we were a little too late. I do bring fish, and my presentation today, or the discussion that I want to have, is about fish and and how fish live in our, as you can see up here in front in my bowl, and from the picture here, I believe, and I have been converted from, as you heard from my story, that the nature of these mobile apps and how they apply to businesses is almost, I believe, essential. And just as having just as I believe that your fish bowl is really just a bowl of water until you put the fish in. And while I've enjoyed my time as in this industry, previous to this industry, I was associated with a variety of other businesses, including the business that I sold, and was always looking for ways in which the small business owner could feel like the big business owner. Ways in which that those markets could maybe converge, or at least from a look and feel standpoint, could compete. And as many of you know, 10, 12 years ago in the web world, when people were building websites, it was really expensive. As websites were starting to come out, this whole www thing was kind of hitting out there. People were spending, or big companies were really the only ones that could afford a website. And by website, I mean a website, something that when you got on there, it actually looked like a company that knew what they were doing. And really it narrowed that field for those of us that were in the small business world, because it was expensive and it was new and it was almost inaccessible due to capital constraints. Well, over the course of time, of course, the cost has narrowed, the cost has come down, and a fantastic, good-looking website is accessible, and the small guy can look like the big guy for not a whole lot of money, especially in comparison to what it used to be. Now skip forward to today, and here we are in an economy that has a lot of numbers were thrown around this morning, so I just want to go over a few. But we're in a world of 6.8 billion people, and according to all of the best estimates out there, there are 5.8 billion of us that have a mobile device. 87% of us in the world have a mobile device. I'm not talking smartphone, but I'm talking we're connected with a mobile device. I spent some time in South America, and the cost to put in a landline was almost as much as owning a car. Landlines just were non-existent. There were houses with phones. The big thing was a payphone. A payphone, you step into a payphone, everybody goes to a payphone, and that's how it is. Landlines were terribly expensive. And then comes along this idea of having a cell phone. And the cell phone says, okay, we're gonna offer up this opportunity at just it's gonna be cheaper. It's cheaper. We don't have to put in lines and lines of cable in the ground. Throw some towers up, get some tech out there, and put down the devices, and that's all something that's very well known. Well, they absolutely skipped, in my how I see it, they skipped the landline concept altogether and went straight to mobile. Now mobile is really all that people have in South America. They use mobile. It's cheaper. So 87% of us are connected this way. And of those 87%, in the last couple of years, in 2010, there was a 19% market saturation in smartphones. In 2011, there was a 31% market saturation. So 58% growth and almost 500 million smartphones sold. As was mentioned, I think this morning, iPhone comes out and there's this really weak by their numbers, 700,000 devices sold, and all of a sudden they release their SDK and 6 million. And really, I think a lot of that, maybe not necessarily just the SDK, but the fact that as people started to see other people with them, they weren't afraid of them at all. They found that they were very intuitive, and it was just like an iPod, and it didn't help that was a Q4 number when Christmas was around either. So there were some really strong numbers that all of a sudden started to appear. And as is typical, the trendsetter isn't called the trendsetter because for nothing. Somebody's going to hop on that bandwagon, and they want a piece of that pie. Android did it. Windows has done something, and BlackBerry is who knows? They've got some secret plan. Some of us that are sharing around, I don't know what's going to happen. But thankfully, they're taking care of the military. There you go. So the growth in this area has been